Ready?
No, it's like yes.
Let's do a quick little meditation. The one that we started with. Everybody was cold earlier. Now is everybody too hot? Yeah, now we're a little bit toasty now. Yeah. Do you want to turn it down? Yeah, let's turn it down a little bit. Everybody might go into sleepy town for sure. Yeah. Yeah, so if you're on a bolster, sit toward the front of that bolster. For this meditation, we can do it with our eyes closed, as I'll just guide us through that sort of meditative process, right? We'll wait till Danny gets back. We can all feel that there is a potential within us. We can also feel that this potential wants to be expressed. We can see that everyone is hurting in some way, even ourselves. That pain is making all of us do crazy things, and that pain arises because of causes and conditions, and those causes and conditions can be changed. New thoughts, words, and actions can be initiated or taken up that are wise, skillful, and nobly worthy of an awakened being. This will then lead to a life of freedom and true authentic happiness. An awakened life. A life that expresses that potential that we all can feel within us. I want you to imagine. Imagine that world of potential now. Imagine a life of freedom. Imagine a world where everyone is free and truly happy. What does that world look like? What does that world feel like? And how would you think, speak, and act in that world? To help us actualize that potential, we call out now to the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, masters and teachers of the Dharma, the 3 times and the 10 directions. Please consider us with kindness and understanding and grant us your blessings that these aspirations may be accomplished quickly. May it be that we all swiftly achieve enlightenment for the sake of all beings. Take a deep breath in through the nose and breathe out through the mouth. So today's talk is called Be Soft Like Water, or Be Like Water, right? And to help us sort of understand, a lot of the times we think that we need to show up to life and we need to be hard. We need to push. We need to force things. We need to get it done, right? We need to be aggressive, right? And that, but maybe even with ourselves, right? More often than not with ourselves, right? But how if there was a different way of showing up for other people, for our family, for our friends, for strangers, right? And for ourselves. And how if we softened a little bit and sort of that to help us with this? Everybody has heard of Bruce Lee, right? Pretty hard and tough guy, right? Pretty strong, right? So listen to this story. Bruce Lee had one teacher, one formal teacher, and that was Ip Man. Anybody heard of Ip Man?
Yeah. There's a movie.
Yeah, lots of them.
Yeah.
They're great.
Yeah.
They're great. Yeah. So Ip Man one day said this to Bruce. Bruce, preserve yourself by following the natural bends of things, and don't interfere. Remember never to assert yourself against nature. Never be in a frontal opposition to any problems, but control it by swinging with it. Don't practice this week. Go home and think about it, which is very frustrating for Bruce because all it was about training. Hard training, right? So he did. He left and he spent the following week at home. And then Bruce says in his diary, After spending many hours meditating and practicing, I gave up. I went sailing alone in a junk, in a small little boat, right? On the sea, I thought of all my past training, and I got mad at myself, and I punched the water. And then right then, at that moment, a thought suddenly struck me. Was not this water the very essence of Kung Fu? Hadn't this water just now illustrated to me the principle of Kung Fu? I struck it, but it did not suffer. Again, I struck it with all my might, yet it was not wounded. I then tried to grasp a handful of it, but then it proved impossible. This water, the softest substance in the world, which could be contained in the smallest jar, only seemed weak. But in reality, it could penetrate the hardest substance in the world. That was it. I wanted to be like the nature of water. Right? In Tai Chi, we talk about loosening up, softening, being with the flow, right? Anybody ever heard of Taoism? Yeah, Tao Te Ching, right? Lao Tzu said, water is fluid, soft, and yielding. But water will wear away rock, which is rigid and cannot yield. As a rule, whatever is fluid, soft, and yielding will overcome whatever is rigid and hard. This is another paradox. What is soft is strong. And you probably have noticed, like, in those moments, even like when you're, say, in an argument with somebody, in opposition to somebody, that the truest change doesn't sort of happen until you change, until you soften, until you ease up, look at things maybe a little bit differently, right? For us, as we journey toward the four immeasurable practices, it's about softening, noticing when we're being hard with ourselves, with the people that we love, with our coworkers, with strangers, right? When are you being hard? And maybe it might be better to soften, right? To ease up, to look, instead of being in the frontal attack. How if you took for a moment and looked from their side of the argument, from their shoes, from their journey, right? Opening yourself up a little more heartfully, letting go of the goal that maybe you are looking at or wanting to achieve just for a brief moment, so you can be free of it just for a second, so maybe you can see a little bit more clearly, right? That water has these tremendous lessons and wisdom that it can show us. And one of the biggest is showing us when we're being hard and rigid. Because a rock can't damage water. Water will go around it and not be affected by it. But the water, in its softness, in its ability to envelop, to adapt and change, wins every time. And even if they're two are merged together, it will degrade the stone, the hardness, and soften it up. Right? Be soft. Instead of coming at something with full force like a frontal attack, try softening and yielding. And a good example of this, like, you can't, like Bruce, right? You can't grasp water. The only way that water will come to you is by yielding, right? Like in this, right? By softening, right? This stand. And then it's yours, but it's only yours for a brief moment. And you need to be gentle and aware and open and soft to it, right? In order to have it. Yeah, you have to hold it delicately. And like the thing, and like look at your life and what are the things that you're holding hard onto. Because the greater way to cherish them and love them and see them for what they are is to hold them gently, to be soft, right? Knowing that everything is delicate, everything is fleeting, and everything is just ours, but not in an ownership, in this participation, right? In this moment together, right? And the only way to truly, fully see and appreciate is to be soft, to hold it gently, and know that it, at any moment, it can go, right? And it helps us hold it even more delicately, right? By doing like this, I can't enjoy the clock, right? But I can only do this for so long, holding it tightly. Because then what happens? Then I hurt. And I'm going to have to let it go anyways. So why not practice letting go right at the beginning? Why not practice being soft right at the beginning? Be flexible. Look for another way. Try another perspective. Use different words. Right? Be open to change. Right? Resistance to change is hard. Right? Like, no, things must stay the way they are. Life is changing. Change. Everything is changing, right? So water can be many things, right? Water is a great teacher, right? It's the mighty ocean and the puddle children splash in with joy. It's hidden in the atmosphere, it's seen as a cloud, and it falls on the earth like rain. It nourishes us with water, right? Like, it changes and adapts, right? Yeah. We're always changing and adapting, right? Yeah. Yeah, be open to change, to trying new things, to transforming, right? And the only way is to soften up, to be soft, right? And that we think being soft is weak, right? Isn't strong. But I know in my life, the times where I've transformed the most, and I've helped people transform, or been in a moment to witness it, is when I've softened up. I've stopped taking myself and life so serious, the moment so serious, whatever situation is happening, right? And if we go back to the Four Noble Truths, the first Noble Truth, like, I can see how then, I'm hurting, I'm in pain. I'm causing pain and suffering to this person because I'm being hard, right? Not to say that we don't need to lay a shout, right? Stand up strong sometimes, right? It's necessary. But for what's necessary for us in this journey is to notice when we're being too hard on ourselves, on the people we love, our co-workers, everybody, right? And how can we soften? Yeah? How can we soften? It's easy. You guys want to meditate?
A great example of being the seed is when people are, they don't even, they're grasping onto their body and the use of their body, like they just keep pushing themselves through injury and not stopping, just letting go and realizing, hey, if I just step back, then I might heal, and, right? Like,
if I be gentle with myself,
really pushing through a knee injury, and it's just let it go, take a break, and just clinging to the body and so attached to it and wanting to do the things they've always done. It's going to change, and let go of the idea of what you can do with your body.
Yeah. And there's so many, the practice helps us see the stories of that moment as well, right? Because you unpack it and there's so many stories, there's so many shoulds, there's so many, like, what are they going to think of me, and blah, 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 like everything. Just in this little bit of knee pain, right? It's that you can't walk up the stairs so fast, right? Yeah, stop being hard. Like everything, because and notice when your mind is hard, right? Yeah. And especially like how how we harden and we freeze somebody in a picture. And that picture is usually how we want them to be, right? We freeze. But people are changing all the time. All the time. Right? We're being shaped and we're shaping all the time, right? Yeah. Like, from a month ago, are you the same person? Right? Yeah. Let alone, like, no, not like on a bodily level? With science? No. Right? But the insights that you've had, the challenges that you faced in just even a week since the last time I've seen you, right? The new perspectives, right? How you've shown up to the world, right? The challenges that you faced and how you faced them. Yeah. 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 Sounds mente.